Hi, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. It's Casey, and we're on Happy Pocket Full of Money. About life. What is that? A life purpose. Let me get. All right, I'm muting everyone, but you can unmute yourself. So to unmute yourself, you can just unmute yourself if you want to say anything, and then you can just mute yourself back. This is a nice small group, so that's all good. And we can see us all 6 of us. So I think this is one of my, I think I say that every single time. I think this is one of my favorite chapters because it's just so epic. How can you not say that almost every single chapter is one of your favorites? And excuse my voice, I've had an amazing reminder to slow down this week that has kept me in the bed and resting more. But I'm feeling a lot better. I just still sound a little so I know, we've missed some, we had Super Bowl, there was traveling. A lot of us were at an event called NYKO. A lot of us built a business together. So before we did the life purpose, we were talking about, having your goals and your vision. And when we were taking a break, I was saying, let's make sure to take a look at those. So I've been putting together, I kept saying, I'm going to redo my vision. I'm going to redo my goals because I was looking at my vision board and my goals, so many of those had been accomplished. And I'll give you an example. There's this thing in my shower that there's a rank advancements in my company, and a 6-star is what I wanted to be, right? I desired to be a 6-star. So I had it plastered everywhere. Well, what happened? I hit it. But did I do the thing that got me there in the first place with then going and recreating my next advancement that I wanted to do, which now I'm focusing on something called 9-star. So did I go and put that everywhere? No. Why not? I know that's what got me there. But yet I didn't go and do it again. So I've remained a 6-star for like 8 months now, right? Which, I mean, is still phenomenal. So grateful for that. But it just goes to show, like, I know that that's what helped get me there in the first place. So I really, just in case anybody wanted to do something like this with theirs, and I'm super proud of it, so I'm going to show it. It's my favorite vision that I've done yet, my vision that I've co-created. I've been working on for a while and taking things out and cutting it, but I put it together last night. So I actually did like a vision book. So let's say that maybe you're at a company, maybe you want to be on, I'm about to go get me Forbes magazine, right? And put my picture all up there as a successful woman. Maybe there's something though, like think about how visual, right? How would it feel to go to the store and pick up a magazine and see you on the cover of it? How would that make you feel inside? Well, for me, like when I look at, like, I get goosebumps looking at this, right? So just think about that. Now, for me, my company has a couple magazines. Now, I could be in a magazine called Start because it's 18 to 35. Right? There's also one called, there's one in here about ICE and news where it talks about wealth, recognition, things like that. So I was really thinking, like, how can I get as emotional as possible? Because I know I said, really work on that vision and your goals. And so for me, of course, I have me on the cover. I have former nurse and military spouse talking about my service, right? Things like that. And then, so this is actually the magazine. And then I go in and then I have like my mission statement. So like balanced living, what it is all about. I'm always saying, like, be the change you want to see. I have my little like, my journey, but you want to start with the why and the how and the what, things that I've built over time. This has all been over time that I've been building for 3 years. For those of you who are in my business, this will make sense to you. But I just want to see how crystal clear I'm getting. I'm getting so crystal clear. And that's exactly what Happy Pocket Full of Money says. The universe loves being crystal clear, crystal clear, right? So I have like exactly how I want my business to look. Exactly over there is our cycles, how we get paid, my rank, just the awards that I'm winning, how many people I have building with me, the kind of rank advancements that I'm doing with leaders in my team. Like, I'm so crystal clear on that. And then it just goes through, and then I just got like, things. But then this is where we have our wealth stories in this magazine right here. Right? So what I've done is that so what I'll do is every single night before I go to bed, I'm going to read this. I've already been doing it. I'm reading it. And you open it, and you guys, I've had so much work to do, like me putting this whole thing together. Like, people would think you're crazy, like all the things that I've not been doing to do this, but it's the number one thing. that everybody pushes aside, because there's no way that working on some silly, putting yourself in a magazine, right, is going to help you be successful. Get on the phone, do calls, set appointments, da-da-da-da-da, right? That's what a normal person would be saying. Da-da-da-da, we're reading Happy Pocket. We know that's not true. So, and then I just have like things that would actually be in the magazine. You know, okay, reading the magazine, but wealth creation, me and my husband. Right? And then I've literally written my own personal story of how it will be. So here I am in the magazine now with my story, and this is something that can bring tears to me, right? To that story, and then just going on, and then I've actually have me in the magazine accepting awards about rank advancing and being like this really ambassador, right? So now, did that take about 12 hours to put together? Yep. And have I been working on it for literally since I've started, because I've taken bits and pieces and, you know, been getting really crystal clear on where my team is. But I just wanted to share that when I was talking about let's take some time when we're not doing these when we're not doing them, to really get so clear on that, because looking at my old vision board and then looking at the stuff that was in my bathroom, and anything that you laminate, you can plaster it up on your bathroom. So if you have it, you can get a laminator for $20, right? And what I'm doing now is, because this is all like paper and whatnot, I'm laminating all this, and I'm going to put it so I can travel it anywhere. I can take a bubble bath and be reading it, right? And then it's protected too. And then you can always pull things off when you just do tape. But I just wanted to share that, A, because I'm super excited about it and proud of it, but B, because that's the secret. And it's a thing that people aren't doing. It's something that can elicit that feeling for me, which, you know, he talks so much about our emotions and our feelings being the number one thing that we learned earlier in this. And I did, and I put so why on this very first part, the first thing that I read is my mission statement, right? So what is our purpose? What is our mission? Mommy, make sure you add mommy. Mommy, you're always in my vision. You're in my story, mommy. So, but I'll say, like, so in this one where he talks about your life purpose, and let's just go ahead and open up to the chapter, and you guys can unmute yourself at any time. All right, so just unmute yourself. Whatever you want to interrupt me, say something, just come on out. I'm on enough cold medicine to keep going forever. So purpose, why are you here? I hosted a call the other day, and I read off of the chapter, or page 167. And it talked about work is love made visible. How appropriate for Valentine's Day. And so with work being love made visible, if you cannot work with love but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work and sit at a gate of a temple and take alms of those who work with joy, like beggars, right? That's like an alm, is somebody who like sits out and begs, and how if they're having joy in it. So they're saying that it's more important to do that than it would be to be doing something that you don't love. How many people are working in something that they don't love? Or maybe you once had a passion for it, but now you don't. When I started working with kids with cancer, I loved it. I had a passion for it. I felt like I was helping them. I felt like I was part of their families, and I was changing, and I was that person that could make such a horrible time a better time for families. But then I started to learn about nutrition. Then I got to a point where I felt like I was literally poisoning children with hanging chemo, right? So I had to immediately remove myself from that situation because I was not fulfilled with it anymore, and I was learning about all this stuff. So, you know, if you really think about what is your goal. Now, my goal is not about a certain amount of money. Is that, I guess that's a goal, but that's not my purpose. My purpose and what it is I do now is I call it my have it all mission. So I say, you know, our have it all mission is to inspire others to take control of every area of their life, not just physical health, but their emotional, relational, financial, mental, and spiritual health, and to have the time to enjoy it all. As we do this for ourselves, we are able to be the example and guide others to do the same. That is my purpose, is to just, that's what I'm doing. That's my overall purpose. Now, my purpose is also to travel and see all the biggest beaches in the world and, you know, to fulfill my cup and things like that for sure. But that's my purpose. See how much more meaningful that can be for me than to say, okay, 9-star. Well, what's a 9-star, right? If I'm just staring at that, you have to have that feeling, that life purpose behind it. And my business that I do in network marketing, which is focused on health and wellness, right? That, of course, that's my financial, and that's a vehicle that's going to allow me the time. But, you know, with that being the case, Isagenix isn't spiritual health, right? If you're looking at it, so now so many of us that are in Isagen would say, oh no, absolutely it is. But it's because we're doing things like this. We're growing ourselves personally, you know, having book clubs. That's why I don't just open up someone an account and ship them health products. That's why I host personal growth retreats and things like that, because it fulfills that whole purpose. Now, can I use my business to align with that? Absolutely. So what is it that our purpose is, and are we clear on it? And I would just love to hear from some of you guys. And, you know, I've never even thought about what my purpose is. It's like, I know my purpose is to change the world in a profound way, to help people be okay with being outside of the box and not caring what other people are thinking, and go for these things, to have it all, right? To be balanced in every single one of these areas. And I'm on a mission, and I'm out there doing the work to do it. But oftentimes I can work myself into exhaustion because it doesn't even feel like work. And I love it, right? Now, sometimes I might still complain, which I got to slap myself and get into some gratitude. But I just love to hear from some of you guys, like, what is a purpose for you? Or do you have it written down? Do you want to share it? I would love that. Do you want to share something from the book? This is the Casey Book Club. Well, all right. I'll just keep going then until somebody wants to pop in. So I came up with I read a book called The Have It All Woman. And when I first became a network marketer, they shipped me a CD and it said, you know, have it all. And I'm like, you know, that was before I was a believer. But for some reason that have it all stuck in with me. Have it all. I read that book, The Have It All Woman. I was like, man, I desire to be a have it all woman. And it's just so much more than having money. You know, it was just so much about balanced living and overall happiness and fulfillment and giving back. You know, and I just that stuck with me. So my whole thing has been have it all. So for me, something else that can fill me up with a purpose is, like David the Gandhi says, we can have many, many purposes. And I say, why, right? We all start with why. Simon Sinek, on the outside, you want to start with why. So we don't want to operate from what we're doing. We want to operate from why we're doing, which is our purpose, because then it's easy. It's done with love. Well, I believe that the world deserves more wide awake dreamers. And when I say wide awake, I believe I was walking dead for a very long time in the status quo, not being able to believe that I can manifest. Like, this is people who read this book and get it, would call us awakened to truth, right? And there's so many people that they just think they're at the mercy of just the way things are, that things are happening to them and that they're not the cause of it. They have no idea. They're walking dead when truly they're the ones manifesting everything in our lives, good or bad, right? So I believe that the world deserves to have more wide awake dreamers, people that are awake and people that can dream and co-create their reality, because all things are possible. And then, you know, I said, okay, well, how? Well, we align ourselves with a world full of purpose. That's how we do it. We get in touch with our purpose. We get in touch with that purpose and we align ourselves with it, and people who are also about purpose. And what is it? It's just a movement that's going to make the world go round. It's this kind of stuff. It's educating people, right? So there would be another kind of just example of a visual that pulls me in, again, to that feeling, and that reminds me when I've been so sick this week, why was I still getting on calls someday? You know, why was I still, you know, doing things? Why was I, you know, still getting on Facebook and answering things? Because I'm very driven by what I'm doing. It pulls me, and, you know, even though I didn't feel like it, and I didn't have to, really. I have nobody telling me what to do. I can do whatever I want, which is kind of scary too. But you're driven by it, so you do it regardless. Somebody talk to me. Can y'all unmute yourselves? Oh, maybe that's why. I've set it up to where you can unmute yourself, I thought. Who wants to be unmuted? Erin, you? Hold on. Or she might be on the phone. Help me in a moment. So to unmute yourself, you just go to the bottom left and you just hit the mute button. You see that? I've already unmuted you, Aaron. I think you just muted yourself back. What about you, Vasquez? You want anything you want to say? Raise your hand if you want to say something, maybe so I can see. You can't unmute. All right, hold on. That's so weird. All right.
Now, can you hear me?
Hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm in the bathroom. Hold on.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very important. The purpose, I found my purpose. It's so amazing when you actually do, because as you said, you can say you are this title or this title, but then when you add the passion in it and the vision in it, and when you add that feeling and you're there and you visualize yourself, you're there, you know that not only you are blessing yourself, but you're also blessing all those who are ready to be blessed with what you have to bring to them. Because it's different when you have that purpose and you're so driven, as you said right now, and you can work so hard and give everything. And even as you said, because I did it myself, I'm just getting out of a minor cold myself, you forget about yourself. So you keep going, you keep adding, but then do they really desire this, or are you desiring this for them? So when you actually start going into your inner self, which now I understand better, everything, it's so easy, so smooth, it's so happy, joyful. You don't really have to go chase, with fishing, in other words, because it will come to you. And I understand. And sometimes we do compare ourselves, and I've done it. I don't know how many times I just slap myself, just a couple of days, and it's not about how fast you're going or how slow. It's when the moment it's right for you and for those who are going to be with you. So I love that chapter, purpose, even more now that I took the time to go into my heart and I understand why that 15-year-old back in 1994 came across to what I know now, what it is now, that it is here. And I don't care if they call me how positive I am or how annoying I am, because that's who I am. I've always been that way. Motivator, positive, and fun. That's just who I am, and that's what I have to say.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And you guys, Sydney, she wrote her purpose down, and I mean, she shared it with me. She read it to me, and that's the thing. Like, do you have it written down? He says on 167, define your purpose in life clearly. This is the third one down. Keep it high in your thoughts at all times. Declare your goals by it. Align your thoughts, words, and actions with it at all times, and your life will be fulfilled and satisfying. Declare your goals by it. How many people are doing it opposite? How many people are putting their goals first, right? And operating from a goal instead of a purpose? I would guess majority of people. I mean, truly, that's kind of how we're taught. What's your goal? All right, go out there and do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you don't know, I mean, my purpose continues to evolve. I assure you, it's just constantly evolving. But it really is. It's that purpose, and it's what makes you happy. And that's true. I mean, that's why I'm just staying on beaches so much, is because beaches make me happy, and beaches fill me up. And there's something about looking into that ocean and seeing the waves, and it's just endless, right? It's like that. I'm reminded of abundance, because there's at times where I still get stuck in this scarcity idea that creeps in, even though I know it's a complete lie. But there's something about that ocean when I look at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything out there in society is almost a lie. Like, this is what's true. And so for me, it just is that constant reminder. When you align your thoughts fearlessly to your life purpose, you become a powerful creative force. When you're working with your purpose, you no longer have a job. It becomes a pleasure, and it becomes life. The boundary between fun and work vanish. I was watching Lisa Nichols. Do you guys know Lisa Nichols? She is phenomenal. Just obsessed with her. and she was doing this speaker thing, right, where they're hosting speakers and they're judging them, like critiquing, but then she listens to somebody tell their story, and then she gets up there and tells the story, and you're like, how does she do that? She's a master at it. And I think about how much she works and how she went from welfare to Wall Street, and her company's literally being traded worth millions and millions of dollars from a mother who could not afford to put diapers on her baby. Right? How does that transition? Well, it's completely vanished. She has found her purpose. She is an orator. She's a beautiful orator where she masterfully tells a story and she takes you into it. She's not telling you a story. She is showing you the story with such deep emotion. And I was thinking about all the work that she must do to have gotten to where she is. But I was like, I bet she just loves it. When I was watching her do that panel, I was like, she is just so lit up and she is loving it. So, and I mean, she can, I'm sure, take a lot of time off. She has a lot of stuff automated and stuff now. She's turned it into her passion so much that she was able to do the brunt work. Now it's creating so many residual streams. So I love that. What about you, Erin? Do you want to share with us? I don't know why you guys can't. You want to share with us?
No, sorry.
We're texting. Hey, girl, that $29 off tonight. It's last minute.
I'm working.
Keep going. As soon as I get off here, that's what I'm doing too. So
I'm trying to roll out a business builder.
Bump it out. That's what I'm talking about. What about Mommy? I'll unmute Mommy. Do you want to share? Joy? I came from Joy.
I know. Can you hear me? I still have to do my vision board. I've never even done one. I have a bunch of things sitting there, and I was just thinking in my head that maybe that's what I need to really work on doing, something like that, because I really have difficulty with my purpose. It seems like I don't really know what it is still.
Well, absolutely you deserve to do that. And me knowing you so much, and so for me, you love to be of service and to help, right? You're always everybody's most comfortable when we come over to your house. I mean, you have all these things done, things prepared in the fridge. People are going to like what you do for a living, taking care of all those people, taking care of your mom, your dad, dad's mom for so long. You're just like, give, right? You're definitely a service oriented. So I would imagine that your purpose has something to do with service, for sure. And then of course your family and your grandson make you happy, right? Josh will bring you joy.
Yeah.
So think about your purpose. I would think about joy, right? Taking Joshua to places that he wants to go. And spending time with him, well, that could entail maybe some residual income in some aspects. Maybe animals make you happy, right? So then your purpose could be surrounded around something to do with animals, or just being able to have abundance and working in that. What he said here too was was it the study of butterflies? Did I read that somewhere else, or did I read that in this? Yeah. For example, imagine that your purpose is studying butterflies, and you are now working unhappily at a non-butterfly related job, right? So maybe do not despair. Start by getting books and finding people in butterfly field. Find out all you can. So an example would that be? So maybe something that brings you happiness that you do, maybe travel, right? Does travel bring you happiness, or luxury, 5-star dining? Travel first class?
Yes, I definitely like to travel first class. Only because I just can't stand to be crowded and all that. Oh, I hate being all that. Oh, no. Yeah, first class makes me happy.
Yeah, all right. So there you go. First class makes you happy. So if first class makes you happy, maybe you can start just posting or researching stuff on first class, or researching how successful people travel, or what's the benefits of traveling. I mean, just something as silly as that, but just something that like excites you or makes you happy. Then just start, and he just says, just start getting books on it. Just start getting into it. And you don't have to know it all, but you just put something up.
I mean, for me, I mean, it sounds silly, but I'd like to have like, I know people right now that need a place to stay. So I'd like to have a house that has 4 bedrooms in it where I could let people come and pay like $250 or $300 a month where they could stay. And this, you know, where I could just go buy something like that. So that would make me happy to be able to help people that are trying to get, not to give them something because I don't believe in that, but people that are on that road. I know a lot of people that are trying to get out of that situation that they are, make themselves better, but they just can't get that start.
So you have, just like he said, you have that because there's other people out there that are desiring something like that. So that has been put the desire in you, right? Because we're all so co-connected, right? So that desire is in you, and other people are desiring something like that. That is such a beautiful thing that, you know, that, so your purpose could be, I believe that everybody deserves a hand up.
Right.
Truly out there working just as hard to make themselves better. And I have the free and unrestricted use of all things to help people do that, which brings me joy. That could be your purpose. And the right people who say that you will, when you focus on that, that's going to put your focus on that. When we focus on growth, when you have that around, when you feel that, when you go, and so for that would just be going to look at a house. That would just be going to look at places in foreclosure or going and talking to an accountant. Well, how could I, if I wanted to do this, how could I write that off on taxes? If this is a pro bono thing where I'm not really making money in it, and you get into the action of it, right? Even if you're so far away from that, but then when you're doing that, then when you go to meet someone or somebody at a house that you're looking for, the real estate agent might say, oh my gosh, you know what? My cousin does something at this shelter for people, and they take in funds for that, and then bam, you meet this connection. Right? You go to the account, and then bam, you meet that connection. Or you're watching something, or you hear something, or then you're in that motion, so then it's going to pull something on your Facebook feed that talks about that. And you just start then divinely aligning with people that are on that same mission and purpose. And it just, then you can bring it to fruition. And how happy would you be to do that for a living?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just one thing. I mean, I would like to be able to walk into our local shelter, our local animal shelter, and just, you know, give them $100,000.
There you go. So I would get in the motion of,
or you make things better, to build a wing or something, you know. I don't think I would personally want to have, you know, like a big house and all this kind of, it just wouldn't, I wouldn't want that for myself, just because it's not something that would bring me. I might like a maid though. Might like someone to come clean my house, but you know, new car, big house, that doesn't really do anything for me. So it's hard to find, you know, when you think about money, it's like, I don't think I'd be any happier if I had a whole bunch of money than I am right now. I'm already happy.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why you have to have that purpose, you know, because it's not, for a lot of people, the money's not the driving factor. And I don't think money is ever truly the driving factor. It's what you can do with the money. Now, are some people buy glitz and glam? Yeah, but I think for most people, it's about what you can do with the money. You know, I mean, I was a cause that truly moved my heart. I was able to call and give a really nice donation to them. And they called me, the person who told me about it called me, and they were in tears, right? That getting that call and them telling me you have no idea what you've just done for the children, like that's what it's all about. It's just being able to do that. You know, just that. Like it's just, that's truly what the money is. The money is just, you can't take it with you, you know? So,
you know, I think doing something for someone so that they can pass that forward. It's just, I think that's where it all starts, is being able to do something and it making such an impact with someone else, and then they get that desire to do it and pass it.
100%. Let's all challenge my mom.
Oh no.
Guys, let's all challenge her to have a purpose written out, and just a one little page vision board like this, just this size, not big, not pages or not a big poster board, just one little page by by it's Valentine's. It's the 14th.
No, it's my daddy's birthday.
Your mom's birthday.
Huh?
When was Grandma's birthday? 11th.
The 11th.
And yours is the 21st.
Yes.
So let's challenge Joy to bring just a written purpose and just the little things on a vision board just to help get her off by the time we're on chapter 20. That's 6 chapters. That's 6 weeks.
I can handle it.
We'll be here rooting you on. I love it.
There's only a few people here that are hearing this, so maybe they won't watch the tape.
This is recorded, unfortunately, because I look so stellar today. What about you, Therese? Do you want to share with us? Hold on, let me mute Mommy, and there we go. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, just recently I was watching Joe Vitale. I'm sure you're probably familiar with him. Yeah. And I really liked what he was saying, which kind of relates to purpose, about inspirations or intentions and inspirations. And, intentions when compared to inspirations can be more like goals. And then the inspiration is something that comes to you from a higher source, which is more like a purpose.
Right.
And so I kind of like the idea of, in my meditations, going in, asking for inspirations about what I think my purpose is. I do have a purpose that I'm working on. I do these health fairs in the town where I live, and I have a health magazine, and it kind of feels like I'm putting the pieces of a puzzle together when I bring these people together to do these fairs. I'm trying to get it to be not just physical, but mental and emotional as well. And it's great to see these people make these connections with each other. And so I want to take that whole idea further, maybe do a website that's related to that with interviews with people like this. But that aside, I like to keep asking for the purpose to be expanded, because I keep feeling like there's more that I don't know, that I am capable of bringing forward in my purpose. And so I just keep asking for the inspiration. So I think it's something that keeps, like you're saying, it keeps expanding and growing. If you're open, you just have to be open and keep asking for that inspiration. And then it kind of, the little pieces keep kind of dropping in, and you get more ideas. And the more ideas you get, the more exciting it becomes, which fuels you to keep moving forward. So that's my bit.
I love that, Mom. That's great advice for you. What's your health magazine called?
The Montana Health Journal.
Awesome. How long you been doing it?
So this one about 4 years, and previous to that, I was doing one called Montana Living. But that one's just online now, but the one that we're printing is Montana Health Journal.
Awesome. Did you always know you wanted to do magazines?
Yes, definitely. In high school, I used to page through magazines and think, I'm going to write for a magazine someday. I love that. That's so cute. I think I should do that. That's a great idea.
Right? Do a magazine that takes stride the whole United States.
Yeah, I love the idea of writing a story, because that's what I do with my magazine, is write other people's stories, So I thought, oh, that's so great. I should write my story and put it in a little magazine. So that's a great.
You should. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I love that, though, what you said about inspiration, when your meditation's asking to come to you. And, that's what Dr. Wayne Dyer says. He says, get silent. Just that moment of silence and just listen. And it really does come to us. when we can get silent and listen. And when I'm really strict with my meditations, I'm just in such more balanced, clear, focused person. I've been doing a lot of meditation with being under the weather, right? Meditating myself to healing.
Right. With the cough syrup.
Yes. Like a lot of things download to me, and then sometimes, do you find though that you just start getting so many ideas? You're like, whoa, because you're like, when we start focusing on one thing, it takes away focus from another thing.
Yeah.
I find myself, I'm like, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Deep.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then you have to discriminate, from the list or the downloads and say, okay, well, maybe some of these are actually related and they all go together and they're one thing,
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's what Richard Branson says. He says that he'll only work on 3 things, Virgin, who, this billionaire Branson, he'll only
right.
work on 3 things. Somebody could ask him to speak, and he would say, no. And they'd say, well, how much? We'll give him, $500,000. He's like, no, it's not my 3 things. There's no amount of money that you could pay me. You could pay me $2 billion, but there's no way that I would take away from my focus. He laser focuses on just a few things, but he's so precise and clear, and his vision is so stone cold about what he's doing with those 3 things that if it is
right.
not in those 3 things, there's no doing it.
Right.
Will turn down that kind of money.
Well, I guess he can. He's in that place.
But I'm sure that's how he get there, though, too. Is like, because I'm sure he was used to saying no, maybe in different areas, but maybe something that you would like to do. And I've had to start getting there with travel and telling people no for events and stuff. They're like, oh, listen. I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to be focused for sure. But yeah, as far as the inspiration, I think that's little bits of things that can build on your one big drive, and then there can be little bits of information that come in about that when you're open.
Can go around those bits of inspiration. Okay, this inspiration came to me. Then we can apply it, put goals around it with what we're doing with it.
Right.
It all, sit around still with just that purpose that just comes to you. So, I love it. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anybody else who wants to share? I see somebody on a phone. Does anybody on a phone want to share? Trying to unmute, but all right. Well, all right, guys. Well, that is going to be our call for tonight on purpose. I would love to see some purposes written out and just put in the group, the virtual Happy Pocket Full of Money just page. That would be really fun. Just see those, and I'll get this recording out for everybody to see how awesome we all are, and to get a little inspiration, and hopefully everybody will take some advice from Mysteries about just getting silent and listening to yourself, to your higher self, come through and just give you that soul lesson. So far better than the TV and the news and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time. I'll be zooming in from none other than the Grand Caymans.
Woo-hoo! Take care, Casey.
Sorry about that. All right, I'll see you guys on Sunday.
Okay, bye.
Mom's purchase and vision board in 6 weeks. Woo!
Right.
He's like, darn it. I love you, Mommy.